Guys, welcome in or welcome back to my channel, Home with Christy T. As you can tell by the title, today we're going to be doing a DIY textured wall art. I did want to go ahead and share this project with you guys, even though I haven't shown you where I will be putting it in my home. But I want to share with you just in case it is a piece you decided to do in your home for this fall or any time of the season, as it is perfect for any type of home decor. Before we get started in this video, I would like it if you guys could hit that like and subscribe button, as we are on a journey to grow our channel to 1,000 subscribers, and it really means so much to me to have you a part of my family. I will go ahead and tell you that I highly suggest that you watch the entire video, as I give you a few tips throughout the video to help you make your project perfect and to give you an overall better feel for your project and how you can complete this yourself. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, coming to you live from my phone camera. Excuse my cloth, so here I'm working on multiple projects. This is my drop cloth. Like I said, it's all open onto the floor. This is the chunk of it I'm not going to use, but I did just go ahead and lay it out, so I'll have plenty left to do other projects. Like I said, this is a 6 foot by 9 foot, and yeah. So now let's go ahead and lay the frame on it. So my camera died, but I have my phone recording. So this is how far I am with stapling my canvas down. So what I figured out is that you start from one side and work your way across, then across here, and then this should be your last side, so you can pull it nice and tight. As you can see, this is where it has a nice good stretch into it right now, because you can see just the ripples across, and even stretching it kind of helped get those wrinkles out that were in there at first. So as long as you're making sure you're pulling tight, I am working with some clamps as well, so that's helping me to get a nice tight grip. And then I'm just using every bit of ounce of strength that I have to pull this nice and taut. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish this, and then I'll show you guys how I fold off the corners possibly, and then we'll move on to the next step. So I just want to show you guys how I'm folding my corners. I know there's a proper way to do this, which I did watch a video on how to properly fold the corners. However, I did make a little mistake along the way, and so yeah, we ended up folding the corners a little bit differently than a professional way. So I want to try to catch this on camera for what I'm doing, but like I said, please do the proper way if that's what you're going for. But for me, for the sake of this, I knew I was going to cover it with the outer frame. So you see here, I folded over. So this is the longer side that I'm on, and this will be either the top or bottom. And so I'm just folding it to create a corner such as this. So over, pull the second part up and straighten it. And then I'm going to put a staple here and here, just like I did on all the other corners. So once I've done that real quick, I'll come back and show you. Guys, so as you can see, I've already started trimming my excess, but I did finish the corners. So I'm trying to decide how much of this I'm going to leave. Because I'm putting this up against a black wall, you really wouldn't see all of this excess behind, but for the sake of just trying to clean it up a little bit, I'm going to trim off at least as much as like I feel comfortable with. But if you are going to hang this in a place where light just might, excuse me, I'm sorry, I stopped for lunch for a few minutes ago, but excuse me. So yeah, if you're going to hang this in a place where light is probably going to hit behind it, or the color is going to make you can see where you can see through it, I would definitely suggest trimming this as close as possible so that you don't see all of this behind it. Otherwise you will see it through your canvas. All right, guys, so just so you know, it is a whole nother day, and this might take over a couple more days before I actually finish recording, but I am going to go ahead and paint this black, and I'm going to show you guys what that's looking like. Alright guys, so this is what it was looking like after one coat of black paint on the canvas. One thing I will tell you, that if you are going to do your own canvas, that I highly suggest priming your canvas with gesso. However, I did not have access to that at the moment, so I did waste a lot of paint in painting my canvas. If I had primed with gesso, it would have been a super easy way to get the first coat on. It would have appeared a lot better and less patchy. So if you're going to do this project, either A, go ahead and just buy primed canvas, or B, make sure you get gesso so that you can prime your canvas and so that you don't absorb so much paint into your canvas and waste a lot of paint. Okay, so my rug idea wasn't working how I wanted to, so I'm gonna try a different method. So I had these extra cardboard panels laying around from when I had some IKEA shipped. So I'm just gonna cut out the shape. I used the extra rug that I had brought right there to draw the shape, and I'm just gonna end up returning that one because I didn't do anything to that one, so it's still brand new. I just traced the shape onto this cardboard, and now I'm cutting it out. And I'm thinking I'm going to plaster it with the textured stuff, or I might use rope to create texture on it. I'm not sure yet. However, right now I'm just going ahead and cutting out the shape. I want to hop in here and tell you guys that before you put the joint compound on your project, you want to apply this strip of black masking tape, or any color masking tape will do fine, just to kind of give you a nice crisp clean line at the end, so you have a nice finished product and it's going to look a little bit more professional. Alright guys, so to get started on this textured piece that you're going to need for the canvas, you're going to want to use some joint compound, and I'm using this all-purpose joint compound that I picked up from Amazon. I will leave this link down below for you guys, but you're also going to need some type of spatula, and I highly recommend gloves just because safety first in all cases. One thing I will tell you about this is that because I am putting this on cardboard, and if you've worked with joint compound before, you know that using joint compound on any super porous surface such as cardboard or wood is going to cause it to bend or fold because of the high amount of moisture in the product. So just something to be aware of as your product is drying. I highly recommend using something to hold it down so it doesn't start to bend in on itself or create a curve in your art piece. So I'm just going to go ahead and continue to smear this joint compound onto my cardboard piece here. And guys, whatever shape you decide to do, this will definitely work. And I haven't had any issues with mold or anything like that because of the high moisture in the joint compound. But I highly recommend using cardboard because one is the cheaper option and it will make your end product less heavy. I obviously could have done this on the canvas as well, but it wouldn't have given me such a crisp, clean curve or edge on my art piece that I'm creating here. Now, a pro tip I will go ahead and give you guys is that you want a thick layer but a not super thick layer, because trying to move whatever device you're going to use to create your textured pattern into it, that's going to make a huge difference. If you make it too thin, you're going to be able to tell that in your arches and in your lines where you're creating your artwork with. So I highly suggest doing just enough thick layer. Just depending on your material, honestly, you'll have to just base it off your eye. Do a test run. This product does move super easily, like it doesn't dry super quick, so you can play around with it. If you don't get your desired look in your first go around, you can definitely just like kind of smear back out with a spatula and start over again, and just work with it until you figure out what exactly you want, which is something that I do love about this project, is that you can continue to work with it until you have your desired look. Pas de soleil, pas de soleil, pas de soleil. Once you go ahead and have your desired shape and style that you want on there, you can go ahead and peel off this black piece of tape. This is just so you can get a nice, crisp, clean line so that you can cut. I highly suggest this just because it's going to make it look a little bit more professional, a little bit more clean, and it's just going to give you an overall better look. Alright guys, so this is actually super simple. I just want to show you how I made the raffia piece that goes around the trim of my arched textured piece that I placed on the canvas. I used simple lark's heads knots to complete this project, but what you're going to want to do is, with your roll of raffia, you're going to want to cut a long piece that is about the length that you'll need to go around your shape, whatever that shape decides to be. And then you're going to want to cut a bunch of tiny pieces. And I'm not going to lie to you guys, this is the part that took the longest, but I just kind of put on a good movie, sat down, cut all the pieces, and they don't have to be exactly even because you can trim it if you want to at the end. However, I just cut as I went, so I would cut a bunch of pieces, tie all those on. If it wasn't enough, then I'd cut some more pieces. So once again, this part is a little bit time consuming, but another option to this is to purchase fringe, which I couldn't find out in town that matched what I was going for. But if you are in the States or somewhere where you have a lot of access to craft stores, I highly suggest purchasing fringe for this project. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your short piece, make a loop, tie it under, and then you're going to bring the two pieces through the loop and then pull your short pieces on the long strand. I know that sounds a little bit complicated, but this is literally the simplest knot you can do. Even in macrame, this is a lark's heads knot, and it's super simple, and you're just going to repeat that for the whole strand. So this is me just showing you one more time. You're going to go under the long strand with your short loop, bring the two end pieces through the loop, and then you're going to pull those through. It's going to be a little bit complicated when you first do it, but it's super simple once you get the hang of it, and I promise once you put a good show on and you start doing it, it'll be super easy to do. I was still trying to decide if I was going to do two arches on this piece, but I did decide to go ahead and do one. But if you decide to do two, you just repeat the same steps you did for the first one and complete it the same. And to paint your arch, just going to use some black paint mixed with water. This is going to help with the consistency, and I used a bristle brush for this as it made it a lot easier to get into the crevices. And just keep repeating until you have covered all parts of the white. So the last thing I want to show you guys is how I attached my raffia strip that I made. This is a super easy. I just used hot glue to attach it around. I used a really thin bead to go all the way around. As you can see, I still had a few white specks on my textured piece, but I was going to go back and I highly recommend just like letting it dry, see where your white parts are, and then going back in with some more water and paint and completing those areas. That way you don't end up just like sitting there all day trying to figure out where the white spots, because I promise it will drive you crazy. One other thing that you guys will notice in this frame is that you can see there are still some patches on my canvas. This is why I highly suggest you use gesso to prime your canvas prior to painting it if you're going to make your own canvas. But I did go ahead back and cover up those areas, but I think also because I didn't use the gesso, it still kind of just left some patchiness on my canvas. In the long run, I may eventually go back and put more black paint on it, but once again, I have used a lot of black paint to complete this project, so just something to keep in mind that I highly suggest and recommend that you use some gesso on your canvas prior to putting the paint on, or you will use a lot of product. Alright guys, and this is the finished product. I just want to tell you I am in love with this piece. I love how it turned out. It is the perfect size for the space that I needed, and I hope that if you guys do this project, you will share it with me. As always guys, thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you do decide to go ahead and complete this project, please feel free to tag me on Instagram at the_Christy_T, as I would love to see how it turned out for you. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to leave them down below, as I will be happy to answer them. I know in some of my past DIY videos that some of you guys have commented I went too fast. I hope this slowed it down a little bit for you guys. I try not to make the videos too long for you guys, because I know that it's a little bit like, okay, just get to the point. So I do try to go ahead and speed it up, but if you guys ever have questions, please feel free to comment down below. I'll try to answer your questions, and then if you have a question that might be answered already, please feel free to check out the past comments and things that I've said about the project. All right, see you guys next time. Bye.